What's going on, sartorialist? Welcome back to the Holsey Style. Today we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite pickups from this season. I am talking about Spier Mackay's high-rise garment-dyed chinos. I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of the motivations I had for purchasing these high-rise chinos, and also talk to you about what my experience has been like wearing them over the last week, so that you can make the most informed choice for yourself, whether you want to purchase your own pair of high-rise garment-dyed chinos from Spier Mackay. And with that said, let's get into it. Last fall, Spier Mackay released their newest addition to their ever-expanding roster of trousers. I am talking about their high-rise chinos, which have become a staple in my wardrobe. Ever since I started building my wardrobe just over 5 years ago, I have purchased so many pairs of high-rise pleated trousers, and honestly, I love them. There are few garments in classic menswear that I love more than high-rise pleated trousers, but I've come to realize, quite painfully, that not every occasion calls for them. So I actively decided to start cultivating the more casual side of my wardrobe, which is why I was extremely excited when I saw on Spier Mackay's fall preview page last year that they were offering high-rise chinos. I thought to myself, this is perfect. I can purchase a pair of trousers which are casual because they are chinos and do not have pleats, but which still have an air of classicness because they do have that high rise. So when they became available, I purchased two pairs. They're brown and slate blue. And honestly, I have worn these high-rise chinos more than any other trouser in my wardrobe, even those that I've had for 2 or more years. The only thing that I regret about these high-rise chinos is honestly that I did not purchase more of them, which is why I was even more excited when I saw once again that Spier Mackay was offering their high-rise chinos this season, but this time with a twist. They are garment dyed. Spier is offering 7 wonderful colors of their high-rise garment dyed chinos this season, but I decided to go with the stone. I did this for 2 primary reasons. First, because I wanted something that was lighter for those sunnier months because it is significantly cooler. And 2, because I've just found that with Spier Mackay, their lighter trousers in particular tend to go very fast, particularly stone and cream. They seem to sell out within a couple of days, and I just didn't want to miss out on these high-rise stone-hued trousers. So altogether, shipping including, it was a total of $78, and as you know with Spier, the shipping was a little bit slow, but it arrived in about 2 weeks. But let's home in on some of the features of these high-rise chinos. They are fashioned from 100% 2-ply Egyptian cotton, and as is implied by the name, are garment dyed. They feature a high rise and have belt loops on the waistband for those of you who prefer to wear your chinos with a belt, or you would prefer to secure that high rise. They also have 2 slanted side pockets and 2 button-through jetted back pockets. Also, interestingly, these high-rise chinos have a front coin pocket for those of you who still carry change around and would like to secure it. They also have a 2-point closure system, a zipper fly, and come with an unhemmed 37-inch inseam. But since the proof is in the wearing, how do these high-rise garment-dyed chinos wear? Let's focus in first on the fabric, which you should be preoccupied with when you are purchasing a pair of trousers, because you want to make sure that they are weather appropriate so you can maximize as much as possible your comfort. These trousers are made from 100% 2-ply Egyptian cotton and lined with 100% cotton, which is to say that they are intended to be quite cool. And after a week of wearing these high-rise chinos, I can confirm that that is the case. I've worn them in weather that oscillates between about 65 degrees in the morning to about 90 degrees in the afternoon to evening. I would say that these trousers are just thick enough so that they keep you from being chilly in the morning in that 60-degree weather, and just thin enough that they prevent you from overheating in the evening in that 90-degree weather. I will say I didn't have any issue overheating. Now the sizing and fit is a bit trickier. For Spier Mackay's high-rise pleated trousers, I typically order a size 32 in their contemporary fit, which is what is recommended for somebody with a waist size of 33.5 inches, which, give or take some bloating, is about my waist size. So I decided to do the same sizing and fit for the high-rise garment dyed chinos. I ordered size 32 in their contemporary fit. But I would highly recommend that you guys pay close attention to their sizing guide. The waist for the high-rise garment dyed chinos is slightly larger than the waist for the high-rise pleated trousers if you are used to purchasing those. So take, for example, my size. For high-rise pleated trousers, size 32 is typically about 33.5 inches. However, for the high-rise garment dyed chinos for size 32, the waist is 33.8 inches. Now, this is a slight difference, but it might be significant for those of you who are used to wearing Spier Mackay's high-rise pleated trousers and absolutely have to use those side adjusters in order to make them fit properly. If that issue, you may want to consider sizing down so that they fit appropriately. Now, I would say otherwise, the fit is about the same. The trousers for the high-rise pleated ones and the high-rise garment dyed ones feel about the same on the thighs and on the legs. Because these high-rise chinos do come with a 37-inch unhemmed inseam, you very likely will have to get them adjusted, unless you're like a fucking giant or Shaquille O'Neal or something like that. But do be aware that Spier Mackay is offering complimentary hemming service. So if you want a plain hem put on your high-rise chinos, Spier Mackay will do that for you at no additional cost. And if you want cuffs put on, Spier Mackay will still do that, but at an additional cost of $5. Now, there are two catches here. The first is that seemingly Spier Mackay only allows you to adjust your inseam in increments of half an inch. So for example, you can get 28, 28.5, or 29. Also, they only allow two options for your cuff size. There's 1 3/4 and 2 inches. Now, these options were never going to work for me because my inseam is exactly at about 28 1/4 or 1/4 inch. That takes my inseam down to hover just above the shoes so that it's clean and doesn't have a break. If it's just half an inch longer, then I'll have a break on there, and that annoys me because I'm very particular about that detail. Also, I've just found that with my more casual pairs of trousers, I prefer there to be a cuff that is 1 1/4 inch, and that's not an option that is offered by Spier Mackay. But if that doesn't bother you, if you don't mind having trousers or you have an inseam that is within those half-inch increments and you don't mind those sizes for your cuffs, I would say go ahead and get the complimentary service done so you don't have to pay an additional cost when you get the trousers to a tailor. Now, the last and most interesting element of these high-rise chinos that I want to focus in on is the fact that they are garment dyed, which affects their appearance in a way that you may or may not appreciate. Now, I personally fucking love it. I love it so much. But for those who don't know, a garment is garment dyed when it is dyed after it has been cut and sewn, as opposed to before, as is traditionally done with most garments. Now, what this does is it makes the fabric softer, but it also gives it a kind of broken in, old, vintage look. For these stone trousers in particular, it gives it a kind of beautiful, magnificent, tawny, yellowish, smoky hue that is very kind of reminiscent of the backside of old Polaroids. I would also say that on certain parts of the chinos, there are kind of these very, very, very faded splotches that look like, but are not, coffee stains, which once again, this is for me very nostalgic. It reminds me of the old Polaroids that my grandma used to have that had like coffee rings on the back of them. I would also say that the fabric very easily wrinkles, which once again kind of gives into that broken in look, which I greatly appreciate. These trousers seem like they have been in the care of someone for 10 years who on occasion has made like a mistake with them, but they've tried as best as possible to clean up that mistake. They kind of have that kind of feel to them. It's absolutely beautiful. But I would say that if you're somebody who doesn't appreciate kind of that vintage look, if you're somebody who likes your trousers to be very clean and pristine and unblemished, you very well may not like these trousers whatsoever. But if you're somebody like me and you appreciate that old vintage look, I think that you'll absolutely love them. For the price of $78, I truly believe that these high-rise garment dyed chinos are a steal. And having now experienced them, I would honestly be willing to pay $100 upwards for them, although I'm glad that I don't have to. I honestly plan on purchasing as many as I can. I want to get all of the colors. And if you're somebody who is trying to step up your casual game, but you want to keep in an air of classicness, and you really appreciate kind of high-rise trousers, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you pick a pair of these up. If you plan on purchasing these high-rise chinos or really any other garment from Spier Mackay, and it's your first purchase, you can receive 20% off by using my referral code here. And finally, I finally got accepted into Spier Mackay's affiliate program. What this means is that I'm going to be able to start earning commissions on purchases that are placed through my own unique link, which I am putting down in the description below. So if you guys plan on picking up these high-rise chinos or ordering any other garment from Spier Mackay, please consider using my affiliate link so that I can start to earn commissions, which I can then take that money and invest back in this channel so I can put out great content more regularly. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. And with that said, that's all I have for you guys today. That is my review of Spier Mackay's high-rise garment dyed chinos. So if you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, smash subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be informed when I drop more videos on the Holsey style. Until next time, guys.